second was dangling. What if he had injured Mookie Betts on that?
Oh,
With the way that wrist was turned,
contorted.
Could have easily happened. I don't know what happened. They didn't show it later, him being escorted out, but surely they took him out of the stadium on that.
Yankees win 11-4 against the Dodgers last night. Stave off elimination at least for one more night. They'll play again tonight on Fox.
Brought to you by APAC Arcola. Immediate openings in Northwest and North Central Arkansas. Go to jobs.crh.com. See the full list there. They can give you a great opportunity in a company where you can move up, chance for promotion, great pay, benefits, insurance, the whole deal. Jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer. It's been a Watch Your Beef Wednesday. Appreciate Richard's Country Meat Market. If you're getting ready for the weekend, call Richard's 479-443-0000. They'll have that special cut ready for you at Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville, 1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive.
Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Halftime coming up next. Stay tuned on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and hit that line now all day long.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get the best deals of the year on select New Holland tractors and hay equipment right now at WT Equipment during New Holland's year-end value bonanza. Get the biggest savings with cash back plus 0% interest, $0 down, and zero due until 2025. Don't miss your chance to harvest our best deals on New Holland's best equipment during value bonanza now at WT Equipment. Offer ends December 31st or while supplies last. For commercial use only. Subject to credit approval and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
This is The Morning Rush.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind is affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. A 50-50 chance of seeing some showers and storms today. Some of those could be strong. Our high into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Good chance of showers and storms tonight, upper 50s to low 60s, and then some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday, low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we're not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning and welcome in on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here with Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing, and we're going to be with you for the next 3 hours here. Guests will be Grant Hall about 15 minutes from now, Fisherman Clay Henry at 12 o'clock till the end of the show. And, man, thank you very much, New York Yankees. Very, very proud, very, very happy. Yankee fan yesterday, Yankee fan tonight, though. Matt, I was at Gabe's Little League game yesterday. I was watching over one of the dad's shoulders. He had the game up on his phone, and we're watching Freddie Freeman's first at-bat, and we're going nuts when he hits another home run to make it 6 World Series games in a row that he's hit one going back to his previous team. And I thought from then, it's like, all right, what else do I need to see? The magic is here. This is it. It's going to be a sweep, and it turns out not so much. Couldn't really manage much after that. The Yankees get the pitching they need, more than anything, the hitting they need, and the World Series lives to see another day.
You know, I knew they had a chance when Ashanti came out to sing the anthem. Way more a fan of Ashanti than Fat Joe. And then, yeah, your boy, his song is "You Have to Promise Not to Stop When I Say When" by the Foo Fighters. You know, that's he's got to come out to that song because that dude is in fuego right now.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, for one thing, to have a streak of 4 games in a single World Series is one thing. I don't know if that's ever been done before.
So what?
I think Bonds did it 3 games in a row in 2002. That's the only time I can remember anything like this.
Well, so how ignorant is it though that it's like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna pitch to Freddie Freeman in the first inning again for the 4th game in a row. It's like, well, maybe let's intentionally walk him the next time in the first inning.
Well, they'll get another chance to try it tonight.
And somebody's on the base twice. 2 of these home runs have been multiple. You know, it's like, what are we doing, guys? Like he's in a purple patch. You know, he's got it going on. Let's kind of maybe do some type of adjustment.
Yeah, how deep a purple are we talking about when that home run either happens in the 9th inning to win a game, or the 10th inning to win that first one, or the first inning where in his first at bat, sometimes his first swing. I don't think I've seen a patch quite this purple. But hey, I mean, and you'd asked about this yesterday, whether or not that late home run by Verdugo on Monday night might help them out a little bit and lead to a little momentum. You know, I think that is the case. I think it helped some because the Dodgers didn't have a starting pitcher yesterday. They will today, so that's the key. Is does Jack Flaherty pitch as well as he did in Game 1? Does he have the velocity that he showed in that game that the Dodgers coaching staff was a little worried about earlier in the playoffs? If he's at 90 or 91 with his best fastball, it'll be tougher for him to get through that lineup. If he can get to 94 and mix it in with that curveball like he did the other game, they'll have a shot. Of course, going up against Garrett Cole, and he was outstanding.
Well, one of my favorite soccer players is Roberto Firmino, and they call him Bobby Chompers because he goes extra white on his teeth. I think Freddie Freeman could be used for the police people. They can just go shine his teeth on the walls, and you could see everything you have to see because that is just like a little bit. Wow, he almost got they're almost like whoa, hey, let me put my glasses on.
Well, it's he definitely has the
translucent.
How to put. Well, it's like the perfect look overall, you know. And I know
he looks sharp. I'm not hating. I'm just.
No, I mean everything about his life, just about outside.
Yeah,
he had a kid that got. Yeah. Well, he does have beautiful teeth and a beautiful swing. And now, well, they don't have the World Series yet, but it's like he's always connected with the Braves because that's where the best seasons of his career could occur.
Hall of Famer because of postseason play. Or was he a Hall? But does this get? Because in football, this is the conversation that I had with the guy yesterday that. Freddie Freeman, you look at his baseball is different. You want regular season numbers to get into the Hall of Fame. Football, you need, but you got to have postseason success. Mm-hmm. NBA, you got to have postseason success. He does this and they win the World Series. Does that get him in, do you think, into the Hall of Fame?
I think he's on track for the kind of career that would get him there nonetheless. But when you have that kind of postseason success, that's the kind of stuff sometimes that could nudge a few voters to vote for you on the first ballot. You know, those big moments. And it's really interesting to think of it in those terms, Matt, because you're right. Think of, like, if Eli Manning didn't have the 2 Super Bowl wins, if he didn't have any playoff success, he wouldn't be a Hall of Fame quarterback, would he? Probably not. I mean, how many Hall of Fame quarterbacks never won a Super Bowl or never even played in one? I think we went through that before. Dan Fouts, Warren Moon, is that it?
Dan Marino.
Well, Marino played in one.
He played in one, you're right.
Never won one.
Did Randall Cunningham? Did he get in there with the Vikings?
Never
I don't
made
know
it.
if he made
Never
it.
made it. Got Gary Anderson to blame for that, unfortunately.
Well, and that is kind of a quarterback thing, I guess, because receivers or running backs don't necessarily have to have. But yeah, quarterbacks you have to. Baseball, you not really. You know, you don't have to have postseason success, but I do think it helps. Put in what he's doing, and then you look kind of what does he have? 460 home run. You know, he might get to. No, maybe it's 360. Maybe he's trying to get to 400 home runs because you used to think 500 home runs would get you in. I don't know if Freeman's going to get to 500.
Well, he's close to 2,300 career hits, 300 career batting average. Been doing this for the last 13 years, and I think he'd probably be in. But it's like the other end of that conversation is a player like Bill Mazeroski, who had the famous walk-off home run against the Yankees for Pittsburgh in 1960. He was the typical good field no hit, And there was a theory that the reason he wouldn't get into the Hall of Fame is because that home run was all people thought about. They look at his offensive statistics and think, yeah, he's not a Hall of Famer. But he really was a Hall of Famer to begin with because he was that good at second base. I think Freeman probably would have gotten in nonetheless. But it's like if you are Ohtani and Betts are more like, I guess, the cornerstones of this team because with Betts, he's been there a little bit longer. But if you're the starting first baseman and 3 or 4 hitter for World Championship teams on 2 different sides, like the Dodgers and the Braves, that's a rare kind of thing. It's a special player that can pull something like that off, especially with a team that's as big as the Dodgers. Because we rip on the Yankees for being the big 800-pound gorilla. The Dodgers are kind of not too far away from them.
Joey Votto, a Hall of Famer? Like who do you take, Votto or Freeman, without postseason? Because that's what I'm trying to get.
Sure.
To me, they're similar players, similar statures, similar skill set. Votto, Votto zero postseason success.
That's a tough choice. It really is a really tough choice. But hey, that's the kind of choice you got to make when you got that Hall of Fame vote, which I don't. It's so later on in the show we got a couple of voters who are Heisman Trophy voters and have been for a long time. Clay Henry's been a Heisman voter for, probably going on 4 or 5 decades now. Grant Hall the same. And they kind of wear that as a badge of honor. It'd be pretty cool to have a Hall of Fame vote. What about the guys who gave up their Hall of Fame vote because they couldn't stomach either not voting for somebody or voting for someone that was implicated in the steroid scandal? I'm going to give this thing up. Well, I'm just more than anything, I'm just happy that the thing continues. And what about the idea that these 2 fans who have one of them that has a picture perfect New York name, these 2 fans sitting in right field that almost, that's accosting a person. That's trying to take a personal belonging away from somebody, except if it's not on the subway or on the street. It's out in foul territory at Yankee Stadium. This guy's name is Austin Capobianco. The other guy sitting next to him had the most boring name of all time, John Peter. Sounds like he's an apostle. Yeah, Mr. Capobianco was the one who grabbed Betts' glove. That's pretty close to an assault. But so they get escorted out of the ballgame. They knew they were going to. They had actually discussed this scenario previously, like a lot of people have in their lives, because you think of the moments like Jeffrey Meyer, or do you want to say his name from 2003 NLCS? C-Cub? Do you want to say his name? Your famous fan down the left field line?
Bartman.
Bart, you want to say his name? That's right. We've all thought of ourselves, what are we going to do if that moment comes? These guys had planned this out from the start, decades ago. We're going to be at a game, one that matters. We're doing the Jeffrey Meyer. Turned out they weren't able to make it a home run, and the Yankee batter ends up out because of their actions. They get kicked out, but they're welcomed in today. What's going on? They're actually allowed to go to the game today? Come on, we have Texas fans that have students that are having their student tickets revoked because of throwing the empty water balls on the field. That's not too different from just trying to pull a leather glove off of a man's hand when that's a piece of his job. It's just,
if he would have
didn't compute for me.
If they would have been another roll up, Mookie Betts wouldn't have been able to. He was they'd had to been kind of carrying him. It could have been worse, is what I'm saying. It could have been a lot worse. His wrist, the way as far, because he's on his tiptoes, so he can still stand. But if he's another section up, he'd have had to be hanging on. Bad look.
I can appreciate the idea of it's really close quarters, and it's not like you have to get out of the guy's way. All that you have to do is don't make a move towards the ball. You can stand there. Heck, they could probably just try to sit on the railing as long as they don't make a move towards the ball.
If the ball's over the
kosher.
railing, can you try to touch it?
If it's over the rail, yeah, but you can't interfere with the player. But if you
just have your hand up looking, and then the player comes up, but it's over on your side, it's really kind of no blood, no foul right there, or would they still kick you out?
My understanding is if the fielder has an opportunity to make the catch,
okay,
and there's a fan that makes a play on the ball or on the fielder's glove, then it's fan interference. And there's not as much of this as there used to be too, because you got all these nets down the right field and left field lines. And, it's either over the net or it's not in the net. You can't do anything about it. Reaching into the net doesn't do anything. That's one of those spots at Yankee Stadium where the net isn't there. When it happened to the Yankees, well, it didn't happen to the Yankees. It happened for the Yankees and against the Orioles in '98. It was a home run. They didn't build a little home run basket like they have at Wrigley Field, which I think I learned the reason that they built that home run basket in Wrigley Field was partially to keep fans from jumping over the fence onto the field. But I guess at Yankee Stadium, you don't have to worry about that all that much. So we do have at least one more World Series game. You know the oddity of a team being up 3-0. I heard today, and I can't believe that this is actually true. Any team that's been down 3-0 not only hasn't won a series, but has never even forced a Game 6. So a win by the Yankees tonight would make this World Series unique amongst all the series that have been played since 1903. And, of course, that's where halftime starts today. Be a lot of Arkansas football as we get ready for Ole Miss on Saturday. We'll kick around some of the quarterbacks around the NFL that have been benched and looking at one specific SEC team that apparently is making a change at quarterback while they're making a playoff push. Plus your calls and texts all throughout the show. We take them in at 877-377-6963. Grant Hall joining halftime right after the break.
This is halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs, all with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon Bass boats with delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area with 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later. Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French Toast Turkey Melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith.
Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give them a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Go to our hotline, a chance to talk with Grant Hall every Wednesday morning, and that is always something we appreciate. Hall of Famer Grant Hall. That's still something that's a little bit new, so I got to remind myself to put that in the intro. Grant, how you doing? How was Little Rock in the Simmons Bank Invitational?
Man, it was so much fun. My son Jason and I went and made an all-day thing out of it on Saturday, and with this family that had a party on right next to the second hole. We could walk outside and watch groups play the second hole, and later on we ventured out to holes 16, 17, and 18 and watched about 7 groups finish, and so it was really fun. And then to see how it finished the next day with Padraig Harrington winning, and that was a good winner for the first one. The people there are talking about the prospect of perhaps Tiger in a couple of years when he gets on that tour actually playing in this thing, and I don't know how much Tiger is going to play, but if he plays the senior majors and a few events enough to get into that top 54, wouldn't that be something for the area of Little Rock?
How long is the tournament signed to play there?
It's 4 more years. They signed a 5-year contract, and the attendance was fantastic. I mean, the people there were saying it looked almost like a regular tour event in some cases. So they did a great job of organizing it. Everything was set up great. Unfortunately, it rained a couple of different times on Saturday, believe it or not. I mean, in Northwest Arkansas, we'd kill for rain right now, but we drove through a pretty good rain starting at about Conway, and they actually had to stop play for a little bit to get water off one of the greens. So it was still, everything about it was good. So a good first year.
Well, as somebody who lives in the neighborhood next to it, I'll say they did a nice job of making sure it didn't feel like there was some major golf tournament going on next door. So well done with that. All right, so we go into the month of November. Arkansas football coming off of a win against Mississippi State, one where the offense seems that they get everything in rhythm, albeit against a depleted Mississippi State defense that wasn't playing very well before they were depleted. What does that mean for Arkansas going into the last month here in November, playing? You're going to be playing some teams that feel they've got a lot to play for too.
Probably the biggest thing is the confidence they got from the third 600-yard plus game of the season, and Taylon Green, 6 touchdown responsibilities, or 5 passes and the run there. So they should have a lot of confidence. I think the defense, the defense gave up 471 yards, and if you go back and you look at it, had Mississippi State been able to make the field goal, they turned down 1 field goal, got stopped. They got stopped 3 times on the goal line, and I was looking at it. Had they been able to maximize those situations, they could have been leading 49-44, and it would have been a different, finish. Now, who knows what would have happened had those things happened, and they didn't, and so Arkansas led pretty comfortably. But I think all in all, it should have been a confidence taker for them as they go into this Ole Miss game, and Ole Miss is favored by 7.5 with good reason. I mean, they had national championship aspirations and probably still do. I mean, they still think they can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they play Georgia after Arkansas, so I think if they win out, I do. I think that it'd be tough to not have them right there at 12 or 11. Grant, I want to talk about quarterback play, and Taylen Green has just been getting better each week, but I want to talk about the other side of the ball. I think Taylen Green's a top 5 quarterback in the SEC. Where do you have Jackson Dart, and what kind of concerns do you have in defending him? Because he's kind of a two-way quarterback as well.
Well, he's definitely a top 5 guy at worst also, I think, Matt, and he's got so much confidence from doing it for a while. And I noticed that he said the first thing that he said and thought after they lost for the second time was, well, we got to win out now. And that's their mentality. It's Lane Kiffin's mentality. He's just another confident dude. I mean, Arkansas has seen some of these guys this year, like Nussmeier. Now they lost last week, but if he plays his best, it's going to be tough. I mean, yes, Arkansas should have a really full house this Saturday, albeit 11 o'clock starting time, so you don't have as much time to get the crowd maybe into it like you would for a night game. But I think it's really, if you look at Arkansas this year, Matt and Phil, it's been about turnovers, and the games where they've lost, I think it's been 3-0 against them. And then they've gotten 5 in their favor a couple of times and done well. So maybe that might be the key again.
I'm really intrigued by well, let me start this over. I think offensively we've seen improvement throughout the season, especially in quarterback play. I think also in offensive line play. I think getting Kudus into a starting role is very big for this team. With the thought that there's another month of the season left, Matt and I have been in agreement from the start that we both think Taylen Green is a 2-year quarterback here, almost a little bit like a project, but maybe that's not the right word to use. You're able to keep certain pieces of this team together. Now, I know we're talking about 2024 and trying to finish the season strong and everything, but if you do finish the season strong, it's like you can I could see an ability to catapult forward into the offseason, and Green and the offense for another year, most of your linemen coming back and everything. Looks like your running backs outside of Jackson, they'll grow, they'll stick around, hopefully. I don't know. I mean, I think there's another gear for this team right now in this season, and I think in the future, if things stay together, and maybe that's a big if, I think they could go a long way.
Last week, I think I said I expected Braylon Russell to carry 28 times for 150. Instead, he went for 16 times for 175, and he kind of had a blowout on that long run, the 75-yard run. But there's a guy you're going to have for a while, and you can build around him. And I agree with you guys that Taylen Green would probably be coming back next year. So that's, and some good receivers. I mean, Arkansas's got a lot of different guys catching balls. You saw more of that last week. Tesla, Broden, Satania, Jordan Anthony gets into the picture, and the tight ends. How about Hassan and Poskas? I guess is the way you say his name. So all that looks pretty good, and they'll have a good amount of that coming back next year.
Does losing these 2 tight ends, I don't know what happened to the 2 kids. It's weird how all this information's out there and we don't know what happened. But does losing these kids hurt our depth, going forward to try to be – because Ole Miss's front seven is just as physical as anybody. You would need a couple extra big bodies. Who's going to step up and kind of take the place when we have to go heavy personnel?
Well, yeah, I think, Matt, it does. I think the 2 guys we mentioned need to stay healthy. Posca wasn't for a while. And then you've got Maddox Lassiter of Warren, who's, about, I think, 6'3", 263, something like that. And then they can put Josh Street in there, put a different number on him, for blocking. And I do think, I mean, this game, if you really look at it, Ole Miss, number 1 in defense against rushing, and Arkansas, needing to run. I think we said last week, didn't we? They're going to carry it 40 times. I think they had 37 rushing plays, and this is after having 19 rushes for 38 yards against LSU. So that to me is a big key. Is how much running game can you establish against?
You think we can get 100 yards rushing between our running backs against Ole Miss Saturday?
I think you have to, don't you?
I think so too. If we don't get 100, I don't know if we win.
Yeah, and because if it's going to become much more difficult to have that passing success. I mean, it just looked like Arkansas could pass anywhere they wanted to last week, didn't it, against Mississippi State? So that's going to all look different this week, and it should really. I mean, it should be a heck of a game, really.
What do you think about the World Series, Grant? I know you haven't missed a single pitch. I think Friday's ending is one of the greatest we've ever seen. The series hasn't been one of the greatest of all time. I'm just happy the Yankees at least extended it another day. I was kind of beside myself, and I haven't looked it up. I just heard this on the radio this morning. If it's true that no team down 3-0 has ever even forced a Game 6. So
that's
I hope
right.
you see history today.
You had the Boston, New York, but that was in the ALCS. So I think I said last week, guys, I thought it would come down to starting pitcher innings. And so far, the Dodgers do have an edge. Now, it's not that much. It's 18 2/3 to 15 2/3, which amounts to about, 4.5 or 4 3/4 a game to just under 4. So it's a little bit of an edge that way for the Dodgers. They had a bullpen game last night, and I would expect Cole to win. I think the Yankees with their fans and Cole should win tonight. And then, 2 more days of rest for Ohtani. And Ohtani and Judge are both 2 for 15, but you got to think they're going to still be heard from. And maybe, whichever one of those guys can do something from here on. But I think the grand slam by Volpe last night obviously at least changed last night's game. Now, did it change the whole World Series? That's the question.
Well, I think one way that it potentially changed today's game is that it meant they didn't have to keep Weaver out there for the 9th inning, and they could throw somebody else instead. Otherwise, they'd have kept him out there. They
that's
their
right.
Closer to try to extend the series.
And then he would have been down tonight. It's not like back when I remember going to all those Royals-Yankees playoff games with Sparky Lau. He'd pitch 6 innings in relief, and then he'd say, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good for tomorrow."
Those teams hated each other too, didn't they? I mean, they literally hated each other.
Yeah, George Brett for sure did. And he finally got him one time, in 1980. But those were
was it him and Greg Nettles fighting at third base?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But it's fun. Now, you wonder if it goes to the weekend, will it get swallowed up by, for example, the ratings were really bad last year. They would be going up against college football, I guess, in a Game 7 if it got that far. What would the ratings then? I guess should be pretty good. But they got to win.
The story then would be we got a chance to see something we've never seen before. I think that story would I'm not going to say it would blow out like Ohio State, Penn State, but I think they get a lot of eyes.
Yeah, and if they could get to a Game 7, then there would be so much pressure on the Dodgers to not have that happen to them. I think that the Yankees lead the Dodgers 8-3 in these World Series matchups, and it's been mostly about the Dodgers. But last night was the Yankees game, and I think the way they finished last night with everybody hitting and contributing, should help their confidence.
I feel like with Cardinal fans, and I know you're in that category, Grant, it's more about who do you hate less.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I really don't have a dog in this hunt, but it's fun to watch. And it's 4 more hours of Fox commercials, tonight. That maybe who knows? Maybe that affects the political race. I was kind of thinking that last night. Wow, there are a lot of commercials on here. So otherwise, it would have been over last night.
Grant, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time on these Wednesdays. Thanks very much.
Okay, guys. See you.
Grant Hall with us each Wednesday on Halftime. You want to get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina, not just for football Saturdays, but also on Wednesdays. On football Saturdays, they've got half-price apps, half-price taps, endless enchiladas, $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, sangrias, and $2 Busch Light drafts. They also have specials on Wednesday that you're going to want to be a part of. Nacho Average Wednesday, $1 off all nachos, off all beers, draft, or bottles. That's all day long today at Joe's Grilling Cantina, 74th Street, Fort Smith, right across from Harps, joesfortsmith.com. Our number at halftime is 877-377-6963, and we'll have more after the break.
This is Halftime.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, TCU walked into the locker room at halftime in the 2016 Alamo Bowl, down 31-0. The Horned Frogs stormed into the second half and erased the 31-point deficit to force overtime, and eventually won it in the third overtime, 47-41.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, did you ever play any tight end at Arkansas or ever take any snaps in the NFL at that position?
No, sir.
I just wondered. I mean, it feels like it's one of the more unique positions to play because you're up on the offensive line, you're a pass catcher, you're in motion quite often too, and they're just, looking on the rosters, there just usually aren't as many who play that position that play other positions. And now you're down a couple of tight ends. We don't know the reasons why that Ty Washington and Varkey's Gums have been removed from the team. We got Maddox Lassiter now is listed as a tight end. Now, I know he was listed as a fullback previously, but now he's in there at tight end. There's another one, Spencer Hensley. You remember a lot of talk about Shamar Easter. He was out of Ashdown. He had I think he initially had committed to Arkansas, decommits, commits to South Carolina, and they got him to come back over here. I'm not sure if he actually committed to Carolina, but folks were a little worried that he would because Dowell had taken the job over there, and he ends up coming to Arkansas. He redshirted last year, and we did a question in on the text line, what about Shamar Easter? I don't think he's played at all since the UAPB game. And if I think you would have been able to tell whether or not somebody was in their plans at tight end once you were down to one healthy tight end, and it was Gums, and you had Josh Street and Lassiter. More like Street was you basically felt like you had two tight ends at that point, and one of them was more of an offensive lineman. So does it bother you going into this last month where you're taking two players who were at other positions and moving them to tight end for some depth at that position?
These guys, they're working out each day, and they're in. These coaches are able to evaluate talent every year. I brought up the one of my favorite teammates ever, Brandon Holmes, before the LSU game, saying that we had to run it 40 times if we wanted to beat LSU type thing, and of course we ran it like 18 times for negative 12 yards or something. But he was a guy that started a game at tailback, started a game at middle linebacker, started a game at defensive end. I mean, this guy's DeCorey Birmingham. So there are special guys that are kind of just athletes, football players. They can do enough to play at that position. Now it's a little bit of a drop off, but it shouldn't be much because you can't ask these kids to do things that they're not capable of, and there's not a lot of tape on them, so they'll be able to insert some of these guys and do some things. So what it does is you got Mr. Fragile and Luke Haas. Can he stay healthy? He got hurt last year. He's been in and out of hurt this year. Can he go for the next 4 games? If you told me Luke Haas is going to be healthy the next 4 games, then we're fine. What it does is we can't have any more injuries at that position.
Haas was one of the players made available to Arkansas media yesterday, and here's him on the other tight ends.
We love him, but they're going to go on and do other things that are going to benefit them. But, I mean, it's a really big opportunity for Maddox and all of our other guys, Andreas, for all of us to step up because, we all get the same reps at practice. That's just how we practice. It'll be a really great opportunity for them to step up, and we're excited and headed in the right direction.
He was also – the first thing he said there was about the teammates that were – we could say kicked off the team is what it feels like, that they're going to go on and do other things and things that are good for them. I guess we'll see about that. But in terms of the guys that are there, I think one of the aspects of the Mississippi State game that you have to think about now is that Paschke is part of the pass game. Now, he is not just a blocker. He is somebody that can catch a pass. I think it would matter of getting open against a better defense because the front seven that you're facing basically for the rest of the season outside of maybe the Louisiana Tech game is quite a bit better than what you saw against Mississippi State. But, out of the tight ends you got right now, Matt, before the Mississippi State game, there's only one of them that had caught a pass this year. And just also, like you're saying, he has not looked fully healthy at all until this last game against the Bulldogs. He'd said in the interview session yesterday that he feels, and I guess you wonder about when you're told these things, he feels as good as he's ever felt since he reported on campus and even better than he's felt in high school. I was never quite sure what to believe out of that. But, yeah, you can't – I don't feel you can take another injury from Luke Hasz because then you're down to one tight end and somebody who hadn't been catching many passes until last week.
Well, and I've been talking about the 29-year-old kid. I guess he's Gramps now, but you know, if you're going to have a tight end, you don't necessarily have to lead run at him. So he could be your backside tight end where you kind of if you're doing zone blocking or you're just cutting across, you're not doing power at him, and that'll get you by for a game. You know, because then they'll get that on tape and they'll see that you're not running directly. But so you could use him a little bit, especially in the pass game. He could be a mismatch. Maybe he's redshirting this year. I don't know.
I also asked Luke about the play name, which was Cowboy Get back when Bobby Petrino was the head coach. Apparently, it still is.
Hey, Luke, that 4th and 1 touchdown that you caught the other day, back in 2008, Petrino called that Cowboy Get It. And I wonder, does it have a different name now, or is it still Cowboy Get It?
I guess I can say it because that's a huddle play. It has the same Cowboy Get It pass right or left analogy that it had back then.
In the radio booth after the 4th and 1, the play fake, which was this play that we're referring to here, Chuck, Quinn, and Rick all sitting there in the front row of the booth. They knew exactly what play they had just seen because they had seen it quite a bit when Petrino was the head coach. And when you're a team that runs it as often as Arkansas does, maybe that's something that you can utilize as well. But it's a tight end play, Matt.
Let's don't get too caught up in how I'm all for let's still saying, hey man, we whooped Mississippi State. I get it. Ole Miss ain't Mississippi State, not even close. Mississippi State's not Ole Miss. I mean, so let's kind of.
But can a play fake work against this defense this weekend?
Well, not if you have 4 running yards in the first 2 quarters. You know, like you gotta see how the flow of the game's going and what's going on. Is that gonna? You're probably not gonna run it again against Ole Miss. You know, you just ran it. They'll be ready for it. What I'm saying, it's gonna be a totally different game. This is going to be one of the other 3 that I've talked about. Let's compare to LSU. Let's compare to Texas A&M, and let's compare to Tennessee. Throw all the other games away that you saw Arkansas play, and then that's who you're playing. That's the talent. That's the athlete that you're playing in Ole Miss, and we're gonna have to take care of the ball because you look at those other games, and we competed in those other games. We even won one of those games. But it was because we didn't have any turnovers. The other ones we had to. So this is the type of intensity, the physicality. This is what's going to be. I mean, this is going to be a totally different game than Mississippi State.
Well, and those guys know this. I mean, they're the ones studying the tape. They're the ones who know the personnel better than we know the personnel. So they've got to know very well too that what they're facing better than anybody else is not what they had faced previously, or not last week at least. So what is the game against Mississippi State for the actual football players? Is it just about, feeling good about yourself and a win instead of a loss going into another SEC win? Is it about confidence? Because it's not like you repeat the same things on a week-by-week basis.
Hopefully it gives them confidence. The offense looked good. Taylor Green, best game I think he's had as a Razorback. Offensive line got Kudas back. Yeah, I mean, you go look at the positives, but you don't really bring it. You kind of we got to take it for what it is. It's a team that is going to win 0 conference games. The last 2 years, we beat one team that's making it to a bowl game. This is another. Let's look at the teams that go to bowl games. Let's just get a little better viewing at it instead of saying, oh, well, we had 600 yards against UAPB. We had 600 yards against Oklahoma State. Let's chill out and before we get to this and try to get to 300 yards against Ole Miss. Try to get to the red zone, which we weren't able to do against LSU.
Still just 2 days left to enjoy the great specials at Fish City Grill in Rogers. Right now, they have Green Goddess shrimp tacos stuffed with blackened shrimp, slaw with a special Green Goddess dressing, pickled red onion and cilantro. Your sides are Cuban black beans and rice. Ask about the shrimi. That sounds really good. Shrimp creamy pesto pasta. Bet a few silly pasta with creamy tomato basil, topped with fresh Parmesan, artichokes, spinach, and cherry tomatoes, and a heap of grilled jumbo shrimp brushed in herb butter. That's at Fish City Grill, South Bellevue Road, Rogers, and online at fishcitygrill.com. Quick break. Wrap up the first hour. Just a moment.
This is halftime.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me around the lake tonight. Around the lake tonight. I'm not gonna lie, not be a gentleman behind the boathouse. I'll show you my dark secret.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
What a heartbreaking scenario this morning coming out of Greenwood. Want to send all of our thoughts to the Greenwood community, Greenwood High School. There was a fire overnight that killed 3 people, 1 hospitalized, a couple of students passed away in this fire. One of them was a member of the football team. I don't know the other details. This is just coming off of an NWA website story, and they did not release the names of the victims. So just a terrible tragedy unfolding currently in Greenwood, and I know that the students on campus right now are getting a lot of support from counselors. So we'll be thinking about Greenwood right there in the middle of our listening audience, and specifically the students that and the families who are affected directly by this. It's just it's awful to hear.
Man, that's tough. Phil, I was in middle school and had a friend that happened to, a family, something like that happened. So you kind of go through things when you're younger, and it's tough. You hate it for the kids. You hate it for the family.
All right, moving on. 877-377-6963. If we get any other details about that, we can pass that along, but I definitely needed to mention that. And hey, we love Greenwood, and we will we'll be thinking of everybody there. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on halftime. It's a short segment. We got Robert with us here. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Oh, not bad. Like I said, we'll just give our prayers out to Greenwood and all the families and the people in Greenwood. But real quick, can we call Freddie Freeman? I know he can't be Mr. October, but could we not just maybe, if he hits another home run like on Thursday night or Friday, could he be Mr. November?
Hey, what I think, didn't people try to call Jeter Mr. November once the World Series extended into that month? I think he got that name, but it's not like it's, I don't know if Reggie Jackson got a trademark, so you can have a different Mr. If you had a Mr. October, Reggie Jackson hasn't played since what, 89? I think it's long enough. We'll call it some sort of statute of limitations, and Freddie can have it, but only if the Dodgers win the series, Robert.
Oh, wait, no, I know, because that's the thing, but you got to admit, he's on a tear, man. I mean, he hit one last night, so you're like,
Never seen anything like it.
I know. And, I mean, last night, I didn't think we were going to win Game 3. I thought we would lose and then probably win tonight. But I'm hoping it's reversed, that since we lost last night, we win tonight and then call it it.
Hey, that's almost like what you feel is supposed to happen against a team that's throwing a bullpen game. I still can't believe that the Dodgers, Robert, are where they are, where they've had to throw bullpen games in 2 games in a series before in the postseason. I mean, just to make it through the regular season the way they did is one thing, but to be on the precipice of a world championship with 3/5 of a starting rotation is mind-blowing.
Well, and you know what that is, because if you listen to the statistics, as long as the Dodgers jump out in front, they've only lost 16 games when they score first. So as long as they go on to where they're hitting the ball and putting it where they need to, not just home run balls, that's what keeps them bullpen people, because they're playing with leads, and then I need to get Ohtani back home so we can work on him, hopefully, and then if he can play even half of what he's doing now, he's doing okay, but you can tell he's hurt. So have a good one, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Appreciate you very much. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. Fisherman Clay Henry, Hall of Famer and senior columnist at hitthatline.com, will be joining us for the rest of the show. Get with us. We'll have Fisherman Clay. We'll have a lot more to get to right after this on halftime.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face. and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
Hey, Hawk fans, it's Ty with the Morning Rush. Join me this Saturday from 6 to 8 a.m. at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for Arkansas Game Day. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular price clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value half off, including their Nike apparel and jerseys. It does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Arkansas Game Day live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 6 to 8 a.m.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. A 50-50 chance of seeing some showers and storms today. Some of those could be strong. Our high into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Good chance of showers and storms tonight, upper 50s to low 60s, and then some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday, low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here and that would respect it. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. It's halftime, hour number 2 on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. 1 minute after 12 o'clock, Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, will have the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry joining us in just a moment or so. Of course, we've got Christian Johnston in studio. Calls and texts always at 877-377-6963. Matt, Major League Baseball has provided some guidance to the New York Yankees about these 2 Goober fans that were ejected yesterday, and we're going to be welcomed back today by the Yankees because they paid a few thousand pretty pennies for the rights to own those tickets. Well, Major League Baseball has said no, these two are not allowed in the stadium today. You can refund their seats, but they are not going to be going to a World Series game in the year of our Lord 2024. I don't applaud every decision by Major League Baseball, but I can applaud this one.
They got that one right.
Yes.
They got that one right. Good for them. Good for them. I wonder who's singing the national anthem, because I've been basing the last act to go on who's going to.
It was Ashanti last night,
but you didn't have the first time you had a homie go that did okay, but then you had Fat Joe that went before the game, and so yeah, just the national anthem, and let's go get it.
Did Fat Joe realize he was there to hype up the crowd?
He looked like it was for a retirement community. It looked like it was the old, like, it's like, all right, so it's the plus 50 club, and we just got out of doing our pool workout, and so we're gonna go eat dinner at 4:30 because it's bedtime, and so hey, look, it was not a good look.
Back to 1972.
So many great bands from New York, so many places they could have went, and that's what they chose.
Yeah, well, they got what they deserved in that case. That's actually a good way to decide whether or not you think the team's going to win today. Who sings the anthem? I don't know the answer. I don't know that. We'll find out. I'll look it up for you. We'll figure it out. Then we can lay our odds in there. Let's bring in the one and only, the Hall of Famer, the national senior columnist at hitthatline.com, Clay Henry with the
that's a new one you just added.
Worldwide, really. I mean, the thing, anybody across the world, heck, up in the space station, they could look at hitthatline.com if they wanted to. So you're actually, Matt, he's a Galactico. Who realized that?
Yeah, he is.
I have some readers in Germany and Denmark and Scotland that I know of. Transplanted Archies, yeah.
All right, well, cool. We think about you've been watching the World Series these first 4 games.
I mean, this is the point where, all right, I get serious on baseball now. This is good. I don't have a dog in the hunt. I mean, I don't know who I would tell you is my baseball team. It varies. Sometimes it's about a player. It's about a former Razorback, or it's I don't know, but it's definitely not the Dodgers or the Yankees. Sometimes it's kind of like the University of Texas. Whoever is playing Texas, that's my team. And so I think whoever's playing the Yankees, that's my team. So maybe I'm slightly pulling for the Dodgers. I like Mookie Betts. I think he's really maybe undervalued, maybe not so much lately. I think he is a great player. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know, Phil. You're the guru of the Hall of Fame. You think?
I could see him getting there. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he wins another World Series, and that changes things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it goes to kind of like that conversation we were talking about these tight ends, and they're moving guys from one position to another, and I could see the reason because of body type, where a fullback or another offensive lineman would be learning that position. And what's the term that you think of when it's a football player that's kind of utility player in baseball? We use the word athlete, but they don't. Usually when we're thinking of athlete, he's a quarterback, he's a running back, he's a wide receiver, might play defensive back sometimes, but we never think of that person being up on the line of scrimmage, either on the offensive line or a fullback or a tight end. But that's what Betts is. He's the guy who can start at shortstop, second base, right field, left field, and there just aren't a lot of players that can do that.
He's done that his glove, his feet, his bat. I mean, he's not what you would call a prototypical power guy, but he's gotten powerful of late. I mean, he'll hit. I mean, he's kind of like Ozzie Smith. All the ones he's taking you out is like, I didn't think that guy had enough, stature to hit home runs, but that quick bat. I was listening to an interview with him. He was cut 3 times from kid league teams.
Yeah.
And he finally got to play Little League baseball because his mother formed a team. And they were apparently horrible. Just got beat on. But she's like, I'm not going to let him not be picked. I guess Michael Jordan, got unpicked or didn't pick for his 10th grade or was it 9th grade? I can't remember. Michael Jordan had that happen to him. How would you like to be sitting around and it's like, watching the World Series and somebody says, man, that's a hell of a player. And it's like, well, I cut him. It's like,
Well, what about if you're the guy that traded him, right? Or
Same
let him
thing.
go?
Yeah.
Like, so the Braves, I don't remember if it was a trade or if he went via free agency, but it's the same with Betts. You know, these guys were allowed to move on to another team or traded. You know, with Freeman, it happened when he was 31. I mean, that's when you're about to maybe have your best years, and it's just got to be torture. I know for Red Sox fans, because Betts, I still don't understand why they let him ever go. And with Freeman, I know they brought in Matt Olson from Oakland, and well, he's going to be the first baseman. We're going to let Freddie go, and it just has to be painful to see that, because those are franchises that should be able to hold on to their better players. You know, I come from a franchise with the Pirates that always had the best players go somewhere else. That shouldn't happen with the Braves, and it shouldn't happen with the Red Sox.
No, that's right. I was fishing this morning with a guy that's flown in for the weekend for the Razorback games from Boston, and he don't want to talk about it. You know, what's happened to the Red Sox. You know, like the reboot that they did, including Betts. And it's just like, no, it's just not right. But that happens from time to time. You know, with management, they decided, hey, we've overspent. Now we're gonna unload some guys, and the fan base is like, doesn't matter what they think. You buy our tickets, right?
By the way, and Cardinal fans know this name by now. The guy that, well, it must have been ownership that told him to do it, but either traded Betts or let him go. Chaim Bloom with the Red Sox. He's going to be taking over the baseball operations for the Cardinals after the 2025 season. So have fun with that. Moving over to Arkansas football here. Sam Pittman at the teleconference this morning says that Rodney Hill believes that Rodney Hill will be available, but Jaquindon Jackson will be doubtful. So that's not out, but that says to me potentially game time decision on Saturday. But Matt, it really does sound to me like you're going to be down to, well, I shouldn't say down, because if you get Hill back, you get a different style running back, and 3 is more than 2, which is what they had last week.
Yeah, you hope that Russell's hamstring's okay, that maybe it was just a cramp, because if he's 100%, then you're fine. And I like Dubinion's trajectory, like where I know he didn't play early, which I thought he's talented enough for whatever reason. But if you look at his last month, it's kind of been a slow build. I think Dubinion's ready to have 20 touches. He's talented enough, but who's going to be that complimentary back? Who's going to be the other guy?
And Clay, they have to establish the run. As Matt and I were talking about this Cowboy get play and play action looked like something worked awfully well against Mississippi State. We're talking about 2 different levels of the SEC by far in terms of defensive talent that you're facing. You can't have the play action if you don't establish the run. So, and it's also what this team is really how they kind of move the ball anyway.
Yeah, I think when you get to this level of defense, and let's face it, Ole Miss, they loaded up on the defensive line, linebacker. They stole Poop Hall. But they're terrific, 2 deep in the defensive line, and they are what you strive to be up front in the SEC, a true defensive front. The only way you attack that is to be balanced. You can't just run it, you can't just throw it, and you have to keep them off balance. I mean, it's not one thing, but if you can't run it, you get to where, like Brian Kelly, that was the first thing he said after the game. We stopped their run. Arkansas no longer wanted to run. And then they're one-dimensional, and we can go out after the passer. That you can't have that happen.
Well, another thing, too, is maybe your third possession, maybe it's the start of the second quarter. I don't know when your third possession is gonna come out there. And you have to be careful about doing this if you go 3 and out. But maybe you go a no huddle. Maybe you go a tempo. Maybe that gets you more base. You know, maybe you kind of know what they're in because you kind of do a little. We haven't done a lot of no tempo unless it's, up tempo unless it's a 2-minute drill. But you get into something like that, 11 personnel, whatever you want, and you go up tempo. The thing is, you can't go 3 and out with 3 straight incompletions because then your defense goes right back out on the field.
Yeah, I wonder, Matt, and I think that's a good take, and it's something that, that's out there, that, anything you can do to keep the defense off balance is good. And Kendall Briles was good at that. Once he had somebody on rolling, you're going to keep going out. You know what Lane Kiffin's going to do? He's going to point to a dude out there, and he's going to go down.
He's going to do. You're exactly right.
They're going to slow you down. I mean, you can just count on that. But I think Bobby really likes that 20 seconds of talking to his quarterback. I think that he, the no huddle, going fast might take a little bit of that time where he can calm him down and say, hey, this is what they're doing. You're going to have this, this, and this. And I want you to see this at the line of scrimmage. And so I think Bobby likes he doesn't want to do anything that takes that away from, that's an asset that he's got, that communication with his quarterback in his ear with that, with that voice. But yeah, that might be something that you can speed the game up, and if you've got him on the run a little bit.
Do you think that there's a director of voodoo injuries over there on the Ole Miss sideline? Somebody over there with a voodoo doll for a specific player, maybe specific kinds of players. You decide that's the guy that's got to go down. The pin goes right in the voodoo doll. Boom. It's a real injury, actually. These guys are not faking it.
Yeah, I think that who you've got is a backup at that position. So that's the key thing. All right, that guy can go down. That's because we can sub this guy and we don't lose anything. So that's it may be that there's some truth in what you say, but I think they know who they're subbing, and they've got 4 or 5 defensive linemen, so they don't mind doing that, and they will do it. And there has been no repercussions to this point for doing that. None.
Let's talk with Charlie here. Charlie, quick, fake an injury. Go for it.
Oh man, my ankle. I'm stepping into this truck over here, man. I think I fell.
Freddie Freeman ankle, huh?
Yeah, man.
Right
what?
Right off the front of the foot, a foul ball. That'll do it.
That's it right there. But I'll tell you, I hope we did not jinx Alyssa yesterday, because I was thinking, what would be the craziest thing that could happen? The Yankees come back from a 3-0 thing and win it 4-3. And the last game would be Friday, right, Phil, if they got the Game 7? Is that correct? If it came to that point?
Let's see. No, because Thursday would be a travel. It would be Friday and Saturday.
Okay. Well, Game 7 would be on Saturday then, so she's going to be stressing about that if the Yankees make this a series. But we don't need her doing that. But I will say this, Matt. When it comes to running the football against this team, I know I was looking at some, and I wanted to do this yesterday because I had mentioned this on here. I was looking at the teams they had faced. And one of the things Kentucky did was they actually ran it okay. It was just the sacks kind of construed, the fact that, okay, they averaged decent amount of yards per carry, but they got sacked too. But that's the thing, too. I think you got to stay away from the negative plays as much as possible. But they almost doubled up Ole Miss on the time of possession. And when you're playing Ole Miss, which they won 20-17, and I think that's kind of the way Arkansas may have to win this game, man. I don't know if they can score as much as people are saying. I don't know. I'm not saying they can't. But I think they got to kind of make it a little bit ugly with Ole Miss. That's just the way I kind of feel. Clay, I don't know how you feel about it, and that's okay because I think.
Yeah, the recipe is the Tennessee game. That was 38 minutes of possession for Arkansas, 0 turnovers. That's the recipe, guys. And, they failed on some 4th and inches and 4th and short. I mean, they could have made it a lot easier on themselves. They left a lot of points on the field. But the recipe is to move the ball, keep the ball, and leave Jackson Dart over there frustrated because he can't get on the field. That's the recipe, and no turnovers. And they were in position against LSU 16-10, and then they have first play turnovers. I mean, that does 2 things. It gives them points, and it also makes your defense stay on the field for back-to-back possessions, which is a killer.
Absolutely, and the penalties too. Yeah, you guys have a go.
He's right about the penalties. That's right. You got a text in about the weather on Saturday. I actually hadn't looked ahead yet, but apparently it's going to be a little bit rainy.
It could be.
Will that slow Ole Miss down? Who knows? I guess we'll be finding out once we get to the game with an 11 o'clock kickoff, and everything gets started at 6 in the morning with Arkansas game day. 8 o'clock Learfield pregame, 12 o'clock kick, 11 o'clock kick, and then Hog reaction afterwards. We are proud to feature Hall of Fame sports writer and sportscaster Clay Henry here on Halftime and his column on hitthatline.com. Columns are brought to you by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. When you renew your Arkansas hunting license, you renew much more than just the hunt. You also renew traditions. Hunting license season is wide open. Today's the day to pull the trigger on the most essential part of the hunt, so renew your hunting license at huntnatural.com. Get with Halftime at 877-377-6963, and we are back after the break.
This is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
This is Halftime.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cabin, HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Richardson. We're live at Rainwaters Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Here come old flat top, here come grooving up
up slowly. Got juju eyeball, he walked holy roller. He got hair down to his knee. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine, he got toe jam football, he got monkey finger, he shook Coca-Cola, he said, you know me. Thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together. Over me.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yeah, 70% chance of rain all day long on Saturday in Fayetteville when Arkansas plays Ole Miss. Matt, we had a question on the text line here at 877-377-6963. He asked, how do they train for rain, or do they? You know, I come from baseball, and nobody worries about playing in the rain in baseball. You don't have to worry about that in basketball. Can you train to play in wet conditions?
Usually you'll have a practice or two during camp that are rain. Now that everybody has an indoor facility, sometimes you'll have a bucket of water by the center, and you'll dip the ball right in the bucket, and you'll go play. And the object is to make it worse than what it's going to be. And then you go, there's so many different gloves now. There's so many different ticky-tacky things you can use. And the college football you can doctor up a lot easier than a NFL football, unless you're Brady. But you can kind of finagle it and get it to where it's okay. But it's almost like you. What's the song? If you squeeze too tightly, you know, then you're gonna lose it. You know, it's like you got to squeeze like a golf swing. You know, they tell you to swing your golf club at 80%. You know, that's how you. So it's almost, you can't really squeeze it all. You know, it's a little bit. It's interesting. I mean, it's some people are better with it than others.
I think the song you're quoting is "Hold On Loosely" by 38 Special.
There you go. There you go.
Well, what is it about the college ball? But what is it about the college ball that's different to where you can doctor it a little?
Well,
more?
they're all. It's not like the NFL ball is universal. Every college team has their own. If it's Adidas, if it's New Balance, if it's Nike, if it's Under Armour, whoever they want, and they're kids. It's kid stuff. So you look at an NBA basketball. And I don't know if you've ever dribbled it, and J.J. Redick just got on this on the first game, talking about being worn-in game balls. And so you get a new NFL football, man, you got to wear that sucker in for a couple 3 practices before it's good enough. It's just a different, higher quality leather, whatever they do, they're all universal, where in basketball, now I know you don't have to do rain, but whatever team you're going to play, Ole Miss, you're going to play LSU, they have their own basketball. So that 2 or 3 days before the game, you're actually using their basketball. It's not your basketball. So it's all going to be a little different.
It's the brand. Yeah.
That's right.
So I'll give you an example. When you played for Houston Nut, y'all used a Nike ball, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, my third year, I think we switched to Adidas, and I think we used a Wilson ball for my third and fourth year.
So when Bobby Petrino came in, he was a Wilson guy, and basically negotiated with Wilson. And all at once, all the assistant coaches have got Wilson golf clubs, and that he wanted to use the Wilson ball, but he played them a little bit for a few weeks. He said, we may not. I mean, what else can you throw into the deal? We got golf clubs for everybody. Whatever the new set was that Wilson had come out with. I remember Bobby Allen said, man, I just got a brand new set of clubs. And there were 2 different Wilson balls, and one was a little fatter, and one was a little slimmer. I can't remember what Bobby told me, but one you could throw better. One you could hold better as a running back. Does that make any sense at all, Matt?
That's exactly right. No, so each year during either spring ball The quarterbacks would go. Tim Chaney was our equipment guy, and whoever the quarterbacks were. Now, if you have a guy that you know is your returning starter, he gets to choose the ball. So you kind of go over the 3 or 4. There's some options out there, but that's one's a little bit fatter, and then one's a little bit skinnier, and so it's kind of based on your hand size. What can the quarterback throw?
Yeah,
So,
it
Matt,
seems
do you
like
have a-
maybe
do you-
Tyler Wilson wanted a different ball than Mallett did.
Because Tyler Wilson's a littler guy. Yeah, he would 100%. 100%.
Did you have a preference as to which ball you'd use at quarterback?
Oh, I was like Al Davis. Let's just win, baby. You show me which football we're going to use, and that's the one we'll use. I didn't care too much.
I got the same question for our next caller here. It's Eduardo the Sherpa. Eduardo, which ball do you want to play with?
I'm sorry you broke up on me, gentlemen. I'm
Great,
sorry
I get to
spell
ask the
recipe.
question. No, I get to ask the question all over again, Eduardo. I guess you didn't hear. We were talking about all the different brand of footballs that each team can use, and they all feel a little bit different. So, I mean, my question to you is, what ball do you want to play with?
What ball do I want to play with Saturday? I want to play with Hog Delight football. Because this game here, you win this game here, I'm starting to feel a run down the stretch where we run the whole tables. Why? Because you can run the football. When you can run the football, it opens up everything in your offense, everything in your arsenal. And that's what we're going to throw at the Rebels. When they stack the box Saturday, we're going to burn them on the perimeter. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play more physical than the Rebels. And when that final whistle, quits blowing Saturday, we're going to be winners, baby. Let me say this. I was crying Saturday before we went to Starkville. Feed the big boy. He likes the football. Give it to him. And you don't have to have 20, 30 yards to run, but 3 or 4 yards a pop. 5. Keep them chains moving all game long. In the pouring rain. And come Saturday, in the pouring rain. Woo! I'm starting to believe it, baby. We're bringing the recipe. It's baking right now. And the crowd is going to be celebrating the whole nation a big win Saturday. And we're going to let the nation know down the stretch, you better watch the Hog Train, baby, because we're just getting rolling.
Sounds like you're just getting rolling a little bit too, Eduardo. It's going to be a soggy crowd on Saturday. Bring your ponchos to Razorback Stadium, or don't, and just get yourself nice and wet. Always nice to hear from you, Eduardo. As always, thank you for listening to our show.
A hog likes to slop.
That's a good point. And I was trying. Do bears worry about slop very much? Sharks don't like slop. I don't think with
so.
Rebels it doesn't matter very much.
They go in their den.
Sounds right. Craving anything sweet and delicious? You can always get over to Andy's Frozen Custard on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive in Conway, JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. That's anytime that you're looking to cool or satisfy your sweet tooth. But for football Saturdays, take home a pick 6 from Andy's Frozen Custard. That's 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. Andy's Frozen Custard, Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, Conway, JFK Boulevard, North Little Rock. They're always ready to serve you. Halftime right back after a very quick break.
Got a 911 with a quadraphonic blow pop. Don't need a quadraphonic blow pop. What you need is a curveball.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
IBM and the United States Tennis Association are teaming up and using generative AI to deliver an improved experience for tennis fans around the world. The 2024 U.S. Open digital platforms offer never-before-seen features to bring fans even closer to the action inside Billie Jean King Tennis Center. New long-form post-match summaries mean fans can access detailed analysis for all 254 U.S. Open singles matches within minutes for near-instant coverage at unprecedented scale. To learn more about this new feature and others, visit usopen.org or download the U.S. Open app. Sponsored by IBM.
This is Halftime.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren. Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sweet, sweet, and interact.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us as well as we work through your Saturday afternoon here on Halftime. Sam Pittman today on the Ole Miss defensive line. Quote, they're very, very good. Too deep at defensive end, long and big. Problem when you play teams like this is when both sides in the interior are as talented as Ole Miss. You just have to play better, stay out of third and long situations. They're talented, they're long, they can run, their D tackles can run. And there he is. He's talking about being as talented on the outside as they are on the inside, and that goes to the idea of it's like a perfect storm for a defense. You're tough to run against, and so you end up facing quite a lot of third and long. And then you've got these defensive ends that can get to the quarterback even when they know that you have to drop back and pass. So Think of how many times Arkansas has been successful on 3rd and long. That's a reason they beat Auburn. Got to try to stay out of it, but I also imagine there's going to be some 3rd and longs that you're in just because of the defense you're playing against, and that's where Ole Miss is going to feel like they got you where they want you.
One of the things that you do when you play a defense like that, and I've heard the coaches talk about it, is use their strength against them. In other words, misdirection. You send them 2 steps one way, and then you come back 2 steps the other, and hopefully they're so quick they take themselves out of position, and you get angles to block them. So, of course, that's easier said than done. But that's what Arkansas will try to do is screens, draws, misdirection. And that's Arkansas always, through the years, had smaller and quicker defenses. That's what Frank Broyles relied on. And you'd see teams, misdirection. They try to move them with something and come back where they aren't. In other words, again, you use their strength and make it their weakness.
They get the ball on your half of the field as far as Ole Miss. I think our defense, how do we do on 4th down? Because Lane Kiffin's going to go for it 3 or 4 times on 4th down Saturday. How do we get that ball? Because essentially turnover, and a lot of times they could be in an area where I just think of the LSU game, how they got stopped a couple times on 4th down. They could have got points early, didn't take it, so it could be beneficial. But how do we play on 3rd down? Yes, that's going to be key. But also, how does our defense do on 3rd and 4th down?
Yeah, it's usually with Kiffin, he's going to do something with his quarterback. I mean, that's
a little run pass option of some kind.
Stop the running game, and it's going to be quarterback dives, quarterback misdirections. You send blockers one way, he takes 2 steps the other way. I mean, it's that's been the Jackson Dart special, and you've seen
he'll turn it over.
LSU.
He'll give it to you if you'll put a little pressure on him.
Yeah, so last year when Arkansas got Ole Miss, he was beat up, and they didn't want to run him. They did some because that's what you give them in their RPO. You make him run. He's healthier now. His shoulder is better. He couldn't throw. He wasn't accurate in the Arkansas game, and you saw that they had some open receivers, and he couldn't hit them. He's better with that. But he doesn't have, to me, the arsenal of receivers that everyone talked about in preseason. In other words, they loaded up in the portal. Well, some of those guys haven't really stepped up. And Trey Harris has been hurt. He gave him one good half against Ole Miss, and he put on street clothes for the second half. They didn't have, a passing game in the second half. You could see he was uncomfortable. He didn't play last week. So they obviously trying to get him well for this week. We'll see if he can give him 2 halves. If he can't, advantage Arkansas.
You can get to Jackson Dart. I mean,
their offensive line is not nearly what they thought it was going to be. They went in the portal. I think they thought their tackles were going to be improved. So far, that hasn't been the case. They've been called for holding penalties. That's caused them to sputter. Now their numbers look really good overall, but it's because of those 4 non-conference games when they just blistered people. Conference play, the numbers are down.
Their offensive numbers are not that far from Arkansas's numbers against SEC teams. In fact,
Correct.
The Razorbacks score more per game against SEC teams than Ole Miss does. They actually have more yards per game. They run for more yards per game. They don't pass for as much, more yards per play. I mean, they're just Arkansas has been believe this statement. And some of this also has to do with the numbers that come from the Mississippi State game. But at least in your league games, Arkansas has been a more efficient offense than Ole Miss, which is very odd to think about.
Yeah, it's skewed because of you go for almost 700 yards against Mississippi State. That's like 2 games. That's 350 twice. So that helps Arkansas's numbers in that. And you don't get to the end of the year and Ole Miss is going to get Mississippi State at the end. Now Mississippi State may play harder. That's a different type game. But I think it's going to be a 24-21 game. I think it's going to be something like that. Just kind of like the some of the other SEC games, Arkansas played Texas A&M pretty good. But it's been really fun to see the last few weeks that Arkansas is right there.
Got also a note here. Sam Pittman talking about. You remember what the 4th and 1 that first of all was keyed by Hudson Clark stopping their tight end with that great tackle right short of the goal line, and then Eric Gregory and Bradley Shaw led the charge to stop their running back on 4th and goal. Shaw, I don't remember seeing him very much up until that play. Maybe a little bit on special teams, but Coach Pittman has said that Shaw's going to play more now. And hey, he was the one who really led that charge. Gregory was in on it, but Shaw was there first. And this is one of the homegrown linebackers, because the linebacker position has been much more outside of Brad Spence and a little bit of Carson Dean. It's been a portal position. Shaw is a freshman. He's one of their recruits.
Shaw, he was out there to start the game, and he didn't get there on the long. It's a screen pass or whatever. It's a pass to a wide in the flat, and he split the two wide receivers blocking, and he was late getting there. And I didn't see him for a little while, but then when he came back, he was a different player.
Yeah. I remember Sam was talking about that play Monday, and it was more on they didn't direct the ball carrier or the runner in towards the middle of the field. They was able to get to the outside and down the sideline, and the whole idea of the way they aligned their defense for a play just like that on the screen was to force them to the middle of the field, and they didn't have their angles for that. So
it's all about leverage. Yep.
I'm sure you'll see some of that against from the Ole Miss Rebels coming up on
they'll try
on this Saturday. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. When it comes to the coach that you're facing, I feel like outside of Eli Drinkwitz, this is probably the coach that Razorback fans want to beat more than anybody else. And so, like, think of Freeze. Would you put him past Kiffin in those terms? I don't think anybody has those feelings about Elko. You might have had those feelings about Jimbo Fisher previously. I don't think, Jeff Lebby, you think about that. With Heupel, you think about that. Like, Kiffin is one of those coaches who is just, he's on college football fans' thoughts. Even though he doesn't have a national championship or an appearance in a national championship game, he has him as a coordinator. But he's just like, I don't know, there's a certain amount of fame that's linked to him. The personality is definitely a part of it. The bloodlines are a part of it. I would say call it job hopping, or just how he has job hopped once or been fired another time. It's just I could use the word famous, Clay, but it's like this is a guy that I'd say you want to be Drinkwitz first and Kiffin second. Yeah,
I think if you go back, and this didn't really affect Arkansas so much because they weren't on Arkansas' schedule, but when he was briefly head coach at Tennessee, he did everything he could to be a thorn in Florida's side. If you can remember, he did stuff with billboards. He was saying things, and he was, operating in the gray area and recruiting. Then he bolted. He went to Southern Cal. Then he went to Oakland, and was controversy, with Al Davis. And so there's some stuff that went on where it just looked like he had growing pains to me. And he's settled out of late, but the stuff with faking the injuries, it has grated on everybody, Phil. I mean, all through college football, you can hear the announcers that they don't like it. The league doesn't like it, but there hasn't been a way to really, there's nothing really punitive that has happened other than it, and the only people that like it are his own fans.
And it's like that's the kind of thing that will rile up any other coach that would think to themselves, this goes against the spirit of the game. Like,
absolutely it does.
You're exploiting a loophole in the rules, but I know a lot of other coaches view it as a kind of gamesmanship that they don't appreciate, and I can think of other coaches in other sports that they feel the same way about, and I think Kiffin's in that same group.
So here's the kind of the root of the problem. He wants to play fast on offense, If you play fast, he's going to fake an injury. Now you tell me what's right about that. He's by the way he wants to play offense, he's telling you this is the way you should play. If you do that, he's going to fake an injury.
And then what was it, a couple of weeks ago? It's this weird statement that their athletic department put out about the faking injuries and like an acknowledgement of some kind of a message from the office, from the SEC office. It was just very odd that they felt compelled to put a statement like that out about faking injuries when they never even admit that they do anything like that publicly.
We know it's wrong, and we're kind of watching it. We're kind of.
Yeah. 877-377-6963. Back in a moment. We'll wrap up our second hour after this.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
This is halftime.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Celebrate your pastor at the Solid Rock this month. October is Pastor Appreciation Month, and to help you celebrate, the Solid Rock is giving you a $5 gift card to give to your pastor with any purchase of $50 or more. And while you're there, be sure to check out the wonderful assortment of items that would make great pastor appreciation gifts. Celebrate Pastor Appreciation Month at the Solid Rock, the store that honors Christ all year long, off South 74th near Sam's Club.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
She could come calling. I wouldn't dream of turning her away. And if it got hot and hectic, I know she'd be elected. I'd rather take her chances with me.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Wrapping up our second hour here on day 30 of 55 straight days with football on television. I don't know if you're interested in them, but Conference USA featured tonight. Jacksonville State at Liberty, Kennesaw State at Western Kentucky. Biggest games are Ohio State, Penn State, of course, this weekend. Ohio State may be down one of their starting tackles. Zen Michalski was carted off in last week's win against Nebraska. Coach Ryan Day said not a determination on his status. Made his first start of the season against Oregon, and they could be down to their third-string tackle, but a third-string tackle at Ohio State still going to be pretty darn good. Penn State still wondering about the availability of Drew Aller. It looks like he will be a game-time decision. I was listening this morning, guys, on Bill King's show, and we have Bill, of course, on every Tuesday. He had an Ohio State insider on, and he said that Ohio State would rather Penn State start Drew Aller than the backup, who is a sophomore, Bo Pribula, because he says Pribula is a little bit more mobile, can run quite a bit, and he thought Aller might be a little bit more stationary. So just something to think about going into this this huge game in the Big Ten. And Florida, Georgia this year is still in Jacksonville. I think it's there for another 2 years, and then they're going to rebuild the stadium. So they have to move the game elsewhere. And I just wonder why never playing this game on a campus site. They're going to move the game to Atlanta in 26 and Tampa in 27, while Everbank Stadium is being renovated. I think they still have to figure out where the Jaguars are going to play. I thought there might have been talk of them actually. It'd be so odd to think if the Jaguars played in Gainesville, because I know there was talk about this, but yet they will never move the cocktail party to an on-campus stadium.
Doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. I mean, it's just I think that it's if I could say who would rather not do that, it's Georgia. They would rather play in Athens. Florida does not want to go to Athens, so they'll give up their home stadium to keep from having to go to Athens. So they fought for that game to stay neutral. And in talking to some Florida people, that's what I'm told. You may know something different, Phil.
I don't know anything different. I remember reading some of the, the mayors of the cities the mayor of Jacksonville wants to do everything possible to keep the game there, and they just must be offering, more money on a guarantee to both universities than either school would make when they play a home game every other year. So I mean, if we're moving athletic departments out of one conference to another, and it's basically strictly because of monetary purposes, that's the decision they're going to make in this case as well.
I played for that team, Jacksonville, for a few years, and there was one year we won 12 games that year, and the only time the stadium sold out was when Georgia and Florida played in our stadium. They're college football. They love college football more than they love the pros.
That's a college football town.
That's what I'm saying. And every year that game would sell out. We might not sell out a single. I mean, when I was there, we didn't have naming rights for the stadium the last couple of years. It
was just the Gator Bowl, right? Is that what it was called?
Municipal.
Just Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. Nice name. Well, that's what they would have been called before naming rights became a thing. 877-377-6963 when you want to call or text halftime as we move into our third and final hour of the show. Fisherman Clay Henry with us for another 60 minutes, and you can get with us as well. And lots to get to on halftime, so stay with us on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Get the best deals of the year on select New Holland tractors and hay equipment right now at WT Equipment during New Holland's year-end value bonanza. Get the biggest savings with cash back plus 0% interest, $0 down, and 0 due until 2025. Don't miss your chance to harvest our best deals on New Holland's best equipment during value bonanza now at WT Equipment. Offer ends December 31st or while supplies last. For commercial use only. Subject to credit approval and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. A 50-50 chance of seeing some showers and storms today. Some of those could be strong. Our high into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Good chance of showers and storms tonight, upper 50s to low 60s, and then some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday, low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, ready to serve. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
It's halftime, and we move along into our third hour on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson with Matt Jones. This is Colton Little's hour, C45 in the producer's chair, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry joining us as we get into the last hour of our show today. I saw now I think there could be some other scenarios where something like this could happen in the Big Ten, and maybe a couple of other scenarios as far as the SEC is concerned. But get a load of the idea here. I was reading about this in The Athletic today. The Georgia Bulldogs, this is legitimate. They could end up as the number 1 team ranked by the College Football Playoff Committee and still not even play for an SEC championship in Atlanta. And therefore, you could have the number 1 team in the country, according to the folks who choose the playoff 12, and they wouldn't even get a first-round bye. This is how it works out. Bulldogs win out, beat Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, UMass, Georgia Tech. Of course, the last 2 games don't have anything to do with the SEC standings, but they will have something to do about who is number 1. A&M would win out as well. They'd beat Carolina, Auburn, and Texas. They'd finish 8-0 in the SEC. LSU would do the same, beating Bama, Florida, Vandy, and Oklahoma. Therefore, you'd have Texas in first place. LSU and Georgia would go to tiebreakers with 7 wins and 1 loss. And LSU and Georgia have 3 common opponents. They're Ole Miss, Florida, and Alabama. Both have beaten the Rebels, beaten the Gators at that point. And the game that matters is LSU's win over Alabama, Georgia's loss to Alabama. That would put the Tigers in the SEC championship game. It would put Georgia at number 1 in the country, and they would be playing a home game. They would be playing a home game in the first round of the playoffs. And I felt like it's probably not the best way to start a 12-team playoff era, but hey, it feels like it's also a bit of a feature of the system potentially.
I think that's what Greg Sankey's watching. You know, how does this go down? And we're watching you. I mean, but I don't know the answer. They don't want to give up that championship game. They really don't.
Well, and I don't think it's like a matter of necessarily the championship game in this case. You just have more clear cut of who to play in the game when you have divisions. And I understand the reason why they did away with divisions. And I think it has more to do with having a quality championship football game for your television partners than it does about something that seems to make more sense. So now you're giving your television partners the ratings that they're looking for, but you're also potentially putting the number 1 team in the country in a position where they have an extra round to play in. So why are they number 1? That'll be such a weird thing to see. And this is not a far-fetched scenario at all. Not at all. In fact, I could see this happening easily. It's weird. It's weird optics. I know it all plays itself out on the field, but you wouldn't expect the number 1 team in the country still has to get through an extra game.
Well, but you also the SEC championship game is an extra round too.
That's true. That is a good point. I mean, that's not where the playoffs begin, because you'd expect that.
Too. Yeah.
Well, but you would expect both teams that are in the championship game of the SEC, they're going to make the playoff 12. It's just you're playing for a first round bye, so it's maybe a little bit of a playoff, but I think you're more like you're playing. It's like 2 teams playing in the same division in the NFL, and the winner gets one of the 2 byes to the second round of the NFL playoffs, which of course you want that.
I'll give you a scenario, and Matt played in the NFL, so he knows what this is all about. When you get into the last week of the regular season and you're in the playoffs, you're resting your dudes. And so you're playing in the SEC championship game and somebody jumps out to a lead. It's like, okay, we know we're playing in 2 weeks. We don't really need to win this game. It's already, we don't need to risk guys. They're going to get the bye. They're 3 touchdowns up. We're going to rest our dudes now.
Maybe so. Maybe so in that case.
Well, I would.
The poll will come out on Tuesday. I can't imagine Georgia's not. Well, who? I mean, it's all going to have to do with what happens on this next Saturday.
Yeah,
I mean, Oregon is number 1 right now in the AP poll. They have 61 out of 62 votes. That's because they're undefeated. I mean, is there going to be another loss there? I don't know, but I know a lot of folks who still think. We talk about it with Bill King, talk about it with some of our listeners. Does Georgia look like a better team than Oregon? Do you think Georgia's better than Oregon? Because I do.
Oregon, I mean, Georgia has the best win going into Austin and beating Texas. Nobody made Texas offense look pedestrian like Georgia has. I mean, Texas has done whatever they wanted all year on offense, and then Georgia, that's the best win. I like Oregon's win against Ohio State. I know they were at home, but that's a good win too.
That is a good win.
I really think when you're talking about 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's what you're playing for. It doesn't matter. It matters who's 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're getting your bye week. Are they going to do this like NFL, Clay, where when you're playing for seeding, the highest seed goes and plays 1, or is it going to be bracket style like we do March Madness?
Yeah, that's something to watch for, and the committee determines. It's like they're going to do the seeding and what will be in their mind. I tell you, another Georgia win that's going to be good when it all's said and done is especially the way they did it, is Clemson. Because Clemson, I think, is going to run the table.
And that was 34-3.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a 34-3 that seemed worse than that.
It sure did. Heck, we were talking about Clemson's about to have a nosedive.
Yeah,
why won't Dabo go into the portal and all that kind of stuff? And yeah, they certainly haven't had a nosedive.
Yeah, I'm not sure how strong that league is.
Clemson play Miami? Because that's it, right? That's their
it. Well, they might have to play them twice. So
Clemson still gets Pitt. They get Pitt. They get Miami. Those would be the 2 toughest games.
So they'll earn it then. That's for sure.
Yeah, but when it's said and done, and Clemson's sitting out there, the committee's they're gonna. That's a nice sweet win for Georgia. So that's 2 that they've had.
Well, and they play Ole Miss next week too.
They play Ole Miss, and that's all. I mean, Ole Miss is playing for their life this week and next week.
Yeah. Well, they're playing for their playoff life.
There's probably some thought that Georgia game is where their mind is. If that's true, they've made a mistake.
Yeah, we'd much rather have Lane Kiffin complain about start times and no night games.
Correct.
When they're coming on the road this week, worried about next week's home game than this week's road game.
Yeah. I don't think that's really where his mind is. I think he just spoke about what that is too. But I think that you've got their full attention. But it's, Arkansas was able to rest some guys down the stretch against Mississippi State, and that's important.
Well, I mean, they've beaten Kiffin both times he's visited Fayetteville, right? He doesn't have a win as the
in 2 close games in Oxford.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting Arkansas's defense to keep them in this game. I've expected their defense to keep them in every single game that they've played. It's just you offensively got to find a way to get into the 20s, because if you can get to 58 against Mississippi State, but you can't get into the 20s against any other SEC team, it's like you gotta show you can do it against. Look, beating Tennessee is great. I'm not trying to poo-poo the 19-point.
Yeah,
that's right. You got to find a way to score points against good defenses, because you got good defenses in your league the rest of the year. Texas, Missouri, it's going to be tough to win those games in the teens.
Yeah, so against this Ole Miss defense, they've got to get some help. Special teams, the defense might have to score, or turnovers. They're not going to line up and score 4 touchdowns against this Ole Miss defense. And if they do, they win the game. But they got to get some help like they did last year and get some defensive points. And it makes all the difference in the world. If just changes it's so deflating when that happens. Either a pick six, a scoop and score, a block punt, a punt return. One of those 4 areas, if they can score this week, they'll win the game.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. We'll have much more after this quick break.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is halftime.
Arkansas, will you make the Final Four? In them wacky uniforms with the pigs with horns. And did I say you were playing a game today with the home crowd yelling, woo, pig suey? Hey, those pigs may be hogs, but they're kosher to me. Capiche?
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas wins the national championship.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hey, Wix. Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I had to grab a few things at the grocery store earlier this morning because once again, my kid forgot his school badge at home. It's like, sooner or later, you're going to have to actually walk home and get the thing yourself. So I stopped at the grocery store, grab a few things. And before I check out, I realize, oh my gosh, I've forgotten Halloween candy. And I do not want my house to get egged or toilet papered or whatever it is kids will do these days if I don't have some sugar for them at the front door. And I guess I could just put a bowl of sugar out there, but that's probably just going to attract the ants. So I got one of those. I got one of those fun packs, and the word fun on Halloween means the smallest piece of candy that's available. So at least I won't get egged today. But, hey, I'll be home, watch the World Series, so I'll have the light on. I'll have the candy out there for them to get, and anybody wants to come inside and watch baseball, I'm game for it too. You guys have your Halloween candy ready to go? Matt, are there ghosts showing up at your front door tonight?
Woo!
Better be ready for them.
They might. I think there's ghosts showing up every night, so this might be the only night they're allowed. Yeah.
Do many trick-or-treaters make it up towards you?
Never have. I mean, we're at the top of a steep hill, and it's the only house up here. And it's a paved road, but it is straight up. Now, there's some kids that live down on the main drag that's next to the river. It's about 2 miles long, and I don't think there's any. But what we do in Norfolk, because there's not what you say neighborhoods, is that you go to the youth center, and it is a massive trick-or-treat festival. Now, that's tomorrow night. It's not tonight.
Oh, if I'm saying tonight, I mean, for some reason, I'm thinking, I felt like if I said tonight, I meant tomorrow night. There won't be a World Series game, so we get 3 texts coming in about it. I know.
Yep.
Halloween is tomorrow, but there's some other places where they do the trick-or-treating on the weekends or sometimes the night before. But we'll have it tomorrow. We'll have it tomorrow night. So I guess I'll have to record the World Series game. I'll put it on tomorrow night, too.
So we lived for about 8 years. We lived in Barrington for a while, which is out on the east side of Fayetteville. And then we lived in the Copper Creek area, which is, subdivision that's right across from the Botanical Gardens. And we would have vans come in and unload trick-or-treaters. I mean, it was, you couldn't buy enough, trick-or-treat candy. I mean, you're spending $30, $40, $50 on candy if you stayed open. So we would do the neighborhood kids that would come before dark, the little bitty ones, and then we'd go to the movie. Turn all the lights out, put something out there, a bucket with candy for a while, and it's going to be gone pretty quick, but it's, we'd get home about 8:30, and then there would be some trick-or-treaters that came after 8:30, but those are big kids, and we just ignored them.
Oh, here'd be a really great idea for a Halloween costume if you don't have one. You need 2 people. You have Mookie Betts and the Yankee fan that tried to take his glove off. That actually could be a little bit of teamwork there.
You'd have if you're Mookie, your glove is like half on, half off, right?
Yankee fans are amazing. They really are, because I mean, this guy, they do what they need to do to help their team. This guy is a grown man. The idea that it's the same thing that happened with Jeffrey Meyer, it's not quite the same thing.
No,
Mayer wasn't. Mayer wasn't trying to take away Tony Tarasco's glove. He just saw a ball coming his way. He reached out. He caught it. That's the first time I remember something like that having a big impact on a playoff game. This was different. This was Betts was about to make the catch. I forget if he did or not. And then in his mind, he thought to himself, "This is what I've been waiting for my entire life. My entire life, I've been telling my friends that I'm going to basically accost the player that's reaching into the stands." And in that moment,
I'm going to become part of the game.
He did exactly what he trained himself to think about doing when the moment came. I should actually be impressed by that, because my first instinct, if I'm sitting in the first row of a World Series game, my first instinct, truthfully, and maybe this is just because I'm used to looking at it from the broadcast perspective, but my first instinct would be to get the hell away from that ball as fast as you possibly can.
Correct. So I equate that is the same as a Texas fan.
Well, in what way?
They're cousins. I mean, it's like the Texas fans are hurling stuff on the field. I mean, they're the same. They've got the same arrogant brain.
Entitlement, I think, would be the word, right?
Yes, and it's just kind of sad in a way, but it also is very predictable. They are what they are, the Yankees fans, and I know my daughter and my brother. They went to a Yankees game, when they were in New York City, and rode the subway, and it was an extra inning game, and the subway rocked. They sang New York, New York, on the subway on the way back to the hotel. I mean, it was really a raucous thing. But it's not like anything else that you've ever been to. They had a second baseman that just been called up to Scranton, and he struck out in the first inning. And they start chanting, "Send him back, send him back." He's had one at bat. But and of course they delighted in doing that.
Riding the train to the Yankee game is like an experience in and of itself.
That's what they do. It's not like anything else they ever done.
When it's a World Series game, because you could go up to a Yankee game, there's going to be other people that are doing other things or just going to the Bronx. When it's a World Series game, that's the only thing on everybody's mind. It's the only thing on their mind. And I know, like, you could call New York a basketball town, a football town, a pro sports town, and everything. It's been a baseball town longer than it's been anything else. And, man, that is it's intoxicating to be a part of that. Lane's with us. He's giving us a call, 877-377-6963. Hey, Lane, how you doing?
Doing good, guys. I hope y'all's having a good day. I just wanted to kind of call in. I know the majority of Arkansas fans right now, we're pleased with how the season's going. But you still always got that minority that they'll always find something wrong. But one thing that I noticed this weekend after we beat Mississippi State, I just got to looking. So the University of Arkansas is having a better season than what the media predicted we would. I believe Arkansas State is still in the running to win their division in their conference. UCA is ranked in the top 10, and then Ouachita Baptist and Hardy, if I believe, are ranked in the top 5. I just thought that was a very good testament to the colleges, around the state. But
that's legit, and the schools in the Great American Conference, the Arkansas schools have been dominating that conference ever since it was that conference came around about 13 years ago. Ouachita, Henderson, and now Harding too. Yeah, I mean, UCA's had a good thing going for a long time. They should have beaten Arkansas State, to be honest. I haven't followed much about the Red Wolves this year, but it is great to see the Arkansas Razorbacks turned around. And I really feel like I hate trying to project a little bit into the future, like in the next season, but maybe it has more to do with how you finish, this season right now, this last month, Matt. But it just feels like if you were to say this year or last year at this point, the nose of the program was pointed downward. Right now, the nose of the program is pointed upward.
Yeah, you get the right quarterback in there. I think you got the right offensive coordinator. Let's don't forget Harding Academy too. I think they've been putting up records as far as
those Harding University of Harding or Harding University and Harding Academy, both of them are like they're tough as nails. Hey, we need to mention this. One of the great all-time UCA coaches, Harold Horton, has really had a few really good days, and he was.
That's great. I know when you talked about him last week, it wasn't going very well.
And he was in the hospital, and it didn't look very good. I talked to Tim Horton. He flew in from Air Force. It was their open day, but the family says, please come. And by Friday, Coach Horton was home. And I know that there's a Monday lunch that they have for Jim Lindsay at a local hamburger joint that a lot of old-timers came to. He came to that this week. Coach Horton did, out of the house. And I'm not saying he's doing great, but a marked improvement from this time last week.
Well, that's outstanding to hear. That's probably the best thing we've heard all day.
Yeah. Continue prayers for that family. They're up against it, but it's not the way it was 7 days ago.
Halftime brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Been there for over 70 years. Junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel. Your family will get the absolute best experience choosing the RV for your adventures. Service and parts department takes care of everything in between. And that's Crabtree RV. CrabtreeRV.com for more info. Calls and texts on halftime come in at 877-377-6963. And it's the home stretch right after this.
Last issue. Chaz Michaels is figure skating.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The perfect hot tub is waiting for you at Burton Pools and Spa's Warehouse Clearance. Whether you're seeking relaxation or quality time with family, we've got you covered with Hot Spring Hot Tubs, the world's best-selling brand. Over 100 hot tubs in stock, ready for delivery and on sale. Hot tubs starting at $39.99 and payments as low as $58 a month. Visit our Hot Tub Warehouse Clearance in Springdale, Greenland, or Fort Smith today. Burton Pools and Spas. We don't just sell hot tubs, we build long-term relationships.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full day cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Clarksville Saturday, November 16th and Sunday, November 17th. On Saturday, the doors open from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 till 3. The American Patriot Promotions Clarksville Gun Show is at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, and police. Children 16 and under are free. For more information, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You hear those cavalry drums, in your equilibrium. With that snacks in my mausoleum, where the pixelated doctor's mom. Carnivals in the cabin night, breathing free on by the candlelight. No cats, bitch, slap you so polite, till you thank them for the tea and sympathy. I wanted to fly
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Can't be a surprise that the Colts have decided to bench Anthony Richardson after the tap out this last week. It's not just the tap out, though. It's just hadn't played very well. So there it is again, Matt. You knew he would get a chance. Joe Flacco is back to rescue another AFC franchise, lead a playoff charge, maybe get a playoff win, and then go get to do it all over again the next year, maybe with somebody else as a backup, then a starter.
Joe Flacco, man, you know, we were talking earlier about Freddie Freeman, his postseason success, getting him into does it help baseball players get into the Hall of Fame? You know, Joe Flacco's won one Super Bowl. I don't think, like, if you just said the name, I don't think people say, yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. But, man, he found a way to win another Super Bowl, man, that put him in.
I say this, independent of the idea of if he's a Hall of Famer, I wouldn't mind him quarterbacking my team right now.
I've been a Joe Flacco fan since he came out of Delaware State. Like he's a big, strong kid, strong arm. He can make every single throw on the football field, still push the ball down the field.
Make old guy jokes after the game.
You know, your mom's 14 days older than me. There's no way you think I'm cool.
Those frozen ropes. I mean, it's
he's got a howitzer
deep out, like a Joe Ferguson. You make that throw, and it's like, ooh, not everybody can make that one. Matt, Anthony Richardson, did that puzzle you at the time when you know he came out of Florida and all at once he's up the draft boards and you know like he's taken early like that?
Well, you see what's going on with the Redskins, how they went and got the right quarterback. The Bears think they got the right quarterback. I wouldn't have touched them, Clay. Like that's just there's GM guys, and I don't know how, you know, each team has their own GMs and their evaluators of talent, and I don't think he had 8 total starts since his last game at high school, and he was drafted in the first round. Like it just doesn't make that. And I get he has the talent. Remember that throw he made? Was it week 2? He just flicked his wrist like 78 yards or was that that was the Colts. So he has talent, but you got to get reps, and it's so hard. That's why 100% Taylor Green's going to be here again next year. Like it doesn't make sense for him to go to the and you want to be a top 4 pick or whatever, but stay in the meeting room with Bobby Petrino for one more, because really, if you think about it, he's only going to be here for 13 more months. And so, like, that's 13 more months being with Bobby Petrino and being the head guy and getting all the reps and seeing everything you can get. That's just going to help his evaluation for sure.
See, I look at Arkansas, and I don't know what's going to happen with Carmona. You know, there was a lot of talk that he was here for 1 year. I mean, he's got another year after. But if they can get –
and if Kudus is healthy, because I think he's our best guard.
Yeah, they get all these offensive linemen back. I mean, maybe they won't get Braun back, but they get their offensive line back and they get their quarterback back. You know, I'll see growth. You'll see experience. You'll see understanding of – another year in Petrino's offense. You know, I just go back to what the jump I saw from year 1 to year 2 when Bobby was head coach. That 5-7 team, and then you had Mallett and you know all those young receivers learning another year. And you've heard Joe Adams and Jarius Wright talk about how much there is to learn, how much all these option routes. Bobby explained it to me in the first one-on-one interview I had in his office when he was head coach. He explained that everything they do in the passing game is just like the wishbone. It's triple option, but it's 10 yards downfield.
It's like the flex offense in basketball. That's right.
Yeah, everything
if you go one way, I'm going the other.
And the quarterback and the receivers both have to get that. Everybody was concerned that it was Armstrong, but but it was Armstrong a lot because Taylor knew he was going the right way. He would turn away from the defense into the hole, in the zones. He would make the right read. It's man, I'm running this route. So all of that is complex, and it takes time. And that's, I would like to see all these guys get another year with Bobby.
Does Taylon Green, does his salary double? And then are you worried about an NIL, because if I'm with Ohio State, if I'm any of these big, I've already called Braylon Russell's parents or his agent. Like, I've already contacted him to see what he's willing, like,
well,
$500,000,
salary
I don't know.
It has to go up. All of these guys have to go up in terms of that wage. So remember what Carmona said. These are 1-year contracts. You renegotiate it all over again in January. Yeah.
Yeah. The good news with Taylon is that Bobby's guy is Frank Fletcher, and that's who we're dealing with Taylor. I mean, I'm not. This is
he's
not
got
a
his
secret.
Frank Fletcher, huh?
It's not a secret. No, I mean that's that's the NIL deal. I mean, you have the collective, then you have an NIL deal that you negotiate above that, and that's how they got Taylor.
It just feels like there's still another, there's more room for him to grow. I think about the decision Landon Jackson made last year. Could he have gone to the NFL last year? Yeah, absolutely he could have. He'd have been picked somewhere. But now he's come back another year and he just looks he's bigger, he's stronger, he's improved his game. He's going to make more money now.
Yeah, when I watch him, if I do this, especially if I'm there in person, like I'll be Saturday. I'll pick out something on a play, and that's all I watch. I don't watch the ball. I mean, you'll know what happens on the play. I mean, it's eventually you'll see that guy's running free or he's not. But I'll pick out, the center, the right guard, left, somewhere in there, where I'll focus on, a defensive lineman and what they're doing, and then. But I watch Landon Jackson, and he is a stud. It's like he may not get there, but when the play is finishing up, he's making an intense effort. Reminds me of Billy Ray Smith, Wayne Martin. I mean, the great ones at Arkansas. They're running at the end of the play, and then they do get there because somebody holds up the running back and he breaks free. Boom, he crushes them, and it is so fun to watch him.
Does he have a COVID year? Because we could get Frank Fletcher on Landon Jackson as well, because I'd like for him to come back too.
He used his, he had an ACL injury. He used a year.
Gotcha.
But he's
our best player on that.
It's
not even. Yeah.
There's times where you need to come back, and then there's times when you need to go. You're healthy, everything's right. You've had a good season. I want him to finish up 4 or 5 games good. I hope that he would play a bowl game, but that's
There's
what happens.
No way he plays a bowl game.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well,
I'd advise him not
hope.
to.
Yeah, I mean but that's the whole point of where we're at now.
And now the playoff 12. That'd be interesting, Clay, if people start jumping out of a playoff game.
Because it's not just one game. In some case, you might be playing 4 extra games.
Yeah, it's
kind of beat up. What kind of
there's
beat up
some
player might
weirdness
make it
out
to the combine, right?
Yeah, there's still some weirdness out there.
That doesn't mean Landon Jackson
out.
couldn't go to bowl practice and be a part of the team, and because I could see him doing that. But I just, even as a coach, I'd say, son, you've done everything for this program you could have ever done, and we're
That's
here
what
to
a
support
coach
you.
should do.
Yeah, you don't have him play in the bowl game. Yeah,
the guy that I'd worry about, and you'd mentioned it earlier, Matt. You got to keep Braylon Russell here, and I think he wants to be here because he could have played at a number of other big time schools. But he's got a thing for being a Razorback, but that doesn't necessarily
played his
mean
best football yet.
Oh, talk about getting better. He's only going to get better.
He's still. I'll watch him on pass protection, and he might step the wrong way and be. You've got to have your butt underneath you. I mean, to where you step into the guy that's coming. He might be off balance, and the guy comes through him a little bit. That won't happen as he goes forward. He'll deliver that blow in pass pro. Or he might think that it's coming from one side and he steps to the wrong side, then he can't get when they're so good. If you watch Texas A&M, it's like a pro team. They show you the pressure on one side, and then they bail out of it, and the pressure comes from the other side, and you've slid the wrong way with your protections. And that's what he's got to figure out, that it can change just at the snap. I'm talking Braylon Russell. Yeah.
877-377-6963. We've got Chris talking about needing to keep the offensive starters together for another year and maybe looking for another big-time receiver, because you are going to lose Armstrong. Like, Armstrong's gone after this year, so there is the need for somebody else that can be your number one guy. Maybe you have that player here already, or maybe he's signed for next year, and maybe there's somebody in the portal. Dan in Mount Ida thinks you got to get a couple of great offensive linemen in the portal. Now, you could lose Carmona. Outside of that, I think everybody else still has eligibility left, but that's also independent of the idea that maybe sometimes you look to upgrade from what you got and create more competition at those positions too, because you're bringing them in for spring ball, and then you figure out what happens there.
Yeah, I think you're going to see growth with some of the guys that you're watching now. I think Harris is going to have another growth spurt. I'm not talking about size or anything, just knowledge. And he's going to, he might flip over and be your left tackle next year. I think that his talent is perfect for tackle, and you're going to see Kudus develop. Now, he might flip back to tackle before he's done. That happens. Sam has done that with a lot of guys. Rag, that played inside and then gradually moved out. Skipper did that, and some others. So
did Bo Limmer, because he
never played tackle. He played guard and center. And
right, now he's center for the Rams.
Yeah, he played guard when he first came, and then Stromberg the same way. Played guard, then played center. Ragnall played guard, then played center. It's center is, they ask a lot of the center and being able to identify the Mike linebacker and call out the slides and protections for the quarterback. But yeah, we just want to see, more talent, more growth in the offensive line, and instead of, the problems that you saw the previous 2 or 3 years. That was tough to watch.
Dan in Mount Ida likes that he sees the quarterback calling audibles and recognizing the defense now. You seeing that he's picking up on what the formations are pretty quickly, Matt?
I think that might be a little headset stuff coming in. I'm not for sure. Clay might know a little better, but I will tell you, I saw this play against Mississippi State, and I absolutely loved it. He takes his first read, looks left, not there. You see him move his feet and his hips, looks at his second read, not there. And he almost goes back, you know what I'm saying? And then he flips all the way to across the field and throws a strike on a 7 route to Tesla. I mean, it was a thing of just growth, maturity, talent. It was one of his better plays that Taylor Green had last week.
To me, and you're exactly right, Matt, but where that comes from is confidence in your protection.
And understanding the offense, what you're talking about, just being more familiar with it.
Knowing that you can stay in the pocket and you're not – and Clint Sterner told me about this, the growth that he had year 2, year 3, year 4, is that year 2 – when he threw all the interceptions with Kay Stevenson, he was looking at the rush.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he moved along, he was looking at his receivers. I mean, you have to feel the rush, but you don't. I mean, Matt, you played it. I don't know why I'm even attempting to talk about it. I mean, this is your baby. I mean, when did you start concentrating on your reads instead of looking for the rush?
It's real similar, and this is why I talk about bowl practice. When we went to the Cotton Bowl practice freshman year, you get a little time off, and then you go to practice. That's when I remember telling Clark, we rode down there, room together, whatever, for the bowl game and stuff. I remember telling him on the way back up, I was like, the game's starting to slow down now, and that was in between bowl when you kind of get away and then come back, and I was like, and it might have had something to do that it was negative 12 degrees, so everybody was playing slow that game. but that was
as cold as it's ever been on a football field.
But when you get hit, so Taylor Green early was taking hits. It's a survival mode. Like, you're going to look, because I can't trust you yet. So what you're saying is now he trusts his offensive line to know I can do this and do that, because I want to say, like in week 3, if his first 2 reads weren't open, man, he would have took off. And then he flipped his hips and made a heck of a throw.
And I think
that's
also
his confidence is his feet. I mean,
But
I know I
think
can get away.
I think that confidence also extends to those who are running the routes. It's just, for me, it feels like he's just more confident overall in everything involved in the offense. The
All
scheme,
11. You're right, Phil. All 11.
well, the scheme, which is a different aspect of just the 11. It's the guy who's calling the plays. I think he's trusted him from the start, but it just feels like it's becoming more. I mean, the word you've kept using about this, Matt, is making it instinctual. It looks like it's now becoming instinctual for him.
And he's only going to get better. You know, it's another week in a film room with Bobby Petrino. And what was that after the A&M game, I think, or maybe it was Oklahoma State game? Petrino and Pittman both said, hey, we're still learning out this team. We're still figuring out what these guys can do.
Identity.
And now they have one. Now you know. Now there's been more talk each week before you go into a game. Hey, what 5 plays do you like? Hey, what are your favorite plays on third down? There is this constant dialogue between a quarterback coach and a quarterback, and then you'll be able to go back and watch it on film, and you keep on. I mean, it never stops.
And the whole idea about this is the thought of, yes, we're talking about the 2024 season right now, and there are 4 games left, and there should be a bowl game in the end of it, but with how they've marinated in this offense for now, how Green is marinated in this offense, can you imagine marinating that steak for a year in the refrigerator and breaking it out to put on the grill in August next year? It would taste just a little bit better.
You would
maybe a lot
think in the
better.
portal when you're going after guys and you're like, hey, you come to Arkansas, we got a veteran quarterback. We got a first class offensive coordinator. You got
more known quantities, right?
Hey, we're in the SEC. You know, I think that should help us go out and get a receiver, go out and get a complimentary back, go out and get an offensive lineman. Hey, you're going to play against the best of the best.
Matt, what you said about, the bowl practices, that's why it's so important to get another victory.
100%. Yes, sir.
Quick break on halftime. We'll come back, wrap the show up. This is ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
This is halftime.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barlam.
When a Newmeyer's involved, you know you're going to get great food and have an awesome time. Hey, Ty Richardson for Newmeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden. They've been whipping up the best ribs, tamales, and smoked wings for years. Rib Room has live bands for you through the month of October and game day specials. For to-go orders, call 479-494-7427. Newmeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, located at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. a mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I got loaded on a bottle of wine. Bottle of wine. Last night I got loaded on a bottle of wine. A bottle of wine. But I feel alright. I feel alright. I feel alright.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Before we go, once again, want to offer up our thoughts, our prayers, and any sort of support that we can offer emotionally to those at Greenwood High School, the Greenwood community, after the tragic fire that has taken the life of 3 people, injured another. I did see that the Greenwood student who was on the football team that passed away from this is Isaiah Arrington, a senior wide receiver. His baby sister also passed away in the fire. That's just it's the worst news we can imagine to deliver here on any day, much less a Wednesday as we wrap the show up. It happened around midnight. The news came out this morning, and now seeing the name of Isaiah Arrington, may he rest in peace, and hope the family and everybody at Greenwood High School and the Greenwood community writ large is able to work their way through this. Just tragic stuff. All right, World Series tonight. We're going to see a Game 6. This pitching matchup could get in the Yankees' favor pretty quickly because of the Jack Flaherty that's throwing 90 to 91 instead of the Jack Flaherty that comes out throwing 94 or 95. And I do wonder about how long Aaron Boone let Garrett Cole go. It took him out with, 94 pitches, 6 dominant innings in Game 1. They had the lead. Bullpen blew it in the 10th, of course. I imagine they're going to need at least another inning, maybe even 2. From Garrett Cole, because when your back is up against the wall like this and your bullpen's throwing a lot of innings, you need a Superman performance. Cole can be that kind of pitcher.
If Garrett Cole throws over 6 innings, yep, I got the Yankees.
Sounds about right. Well, from your lips to the baseball god's ears, Matt, because I want a Game 6. I want this series to go to Friday, and you know how I am. So, I mean, make this like the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Let's take a 3-0 series, get it to 3-3, and then they'll end up being maybe even a game for the ages.
They said, you heard A-Rod go, they're going to let me throw the first pitch of Game 8. So because Jeter threw Game 3, and so maybe you're right. Maybe A-Rod gets to throw out that first pitch to Game 8.
Be the only Yankee ever booed to come out and throw out a first pitch.
No
Clay,
question.
great stuff. We appreciate you, Clay. Thank you so much.
Enjoyed being here. Y'all are good to me.
All right, that's halftime for a Wednesday afternoon. Download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Is coming out shortly, thanks to Christian and to C45. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a moment, and we'll do this all again tomorrow on a Thursday edition of Halftime. So for Matt, for Christian, for C45, for Clay, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. That's Halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.